join us if they feel like it. And if not, then we will go ahead and get started anyway. All right, so let's begin seated, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders stacked over hips, breathing deeply. Just taking this opportunity to check in with the body, noticing how everything's feeling today, starting with the points on the body that are making contact with the earth. Working our way up through the legs, the knees, the thighs, the glutes, the hips. Seeing if we can relax those muscles just a little bit. On the next couple of inhales, let's try to sit just a little taller. As you exhale, see if you can relax your shoulders down the spine just a little bit more. Working your way up the spine, noticing any tension in the back or the belly. Any tension in the ribs, the shoulders. The neck. Noticing the face, any tension that you might be holding in your jaw, in your cheeks, in your lips. Even relaxing through the forehead and through the eyes. As you inhale, try to shrug your shoulders up to your ears, rolling them back and relaxing them back down. Taking your focus down through your arms, to your elbows, your forearms, and your wrists. Noticing your hands and your fingers, even wiggling the fingers or making fists, and releasing any tension you're holding in your arms. Letting your focus return to your breath. Each exhalation an invitation to relax and release just more. Noticing the speed of your breath and seeing if you can slow it down by extending the exhalations. Now seeing if you can breathe just a little more deeply, expanding through the belly and the ribs. Releasing all effort, letting the exhalation happen naturally. Letting your chin gently tuck down towards your chest. Turning your gaze towards either shoulder, gently stretching through the neck. If you want to deepen this, just interlace the fingers and take your hands to rest on the back of your head, letting the weight of your elbows gently encourage your head down just a little further, continuing to look side to side. And then slowly releasing those hands back down to your lap, lifting your head, letting your ear gently come towards the shoulder, Opposite or same hand can come over and gently rest on top of the head, while the opposite arm reaches far away, extending through the fingertips. Taking a deep breath in. Feeling the sensation of the air filling the lungs completely. And as you exhale, seeing if you can reach those fingers just a little bit further away. Beginning to make gentle circles with the arm, opening through the shoulder. Beginning to gradually increase those circles as you spiral the arm gently outward. Making those circles bigger and bigger until you've made the biggest circle you can possibly make. And then reversing the direction, taking your hand in the other direction. We're going to slowly make smaller and smaller circles as we begin to spiral inward. Until you've made the smallest circle you can possibly make. Gently releasing both hands down, taking that chin back to chest, turning the head side to side, releasing any tension that may have built up. And then lifting the gaze, taking the ear to the other shoulder this time. Hand comes to rest on top of the head to gently encourage it down. Reaching the other fingers out. Slowly beginning to make circles. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, reaching the fingers a little bit farther away. And then continuing the circles once again. Slowly beginning to spiral outward, making the circles gradually bigger and bigger. Until you've made the biggest circle you can possibly make. And then reversing the direction, taking the hand around the other way. Slowly and gradually making smaller and smaller circles. Spiraling inward. Until you've made the smallest circles you can possibly make. And then releasing each arm downward, taking the chin back to chest once again, turning the head side to side, releasing any tension that's built up. And then bringing the gaze back up to neutral. Let's extend our legs out wide. If you have a prop or would like to use one, you might want to bring it in between the legs for your forward fold. This can be just a blanket, a block, or even a big bolster if you have one, or maybe even a pillow or a couch cushion, whatever you feel inclined to use today. Making sure you have ample space to get your legs as wide as you would like them. Take the hands to the floor just behind the hips. Take a deep breath in, press down into the earth, and see if you can lift those sits bones out, freeing them, allowing those hips to revolve slightly forward. Taking your hands back to the front of you, begin to draw your shoulders back and down. Gaze stays forward, chin ever so slightly lifted. Take a deep breath in, lift through the crown of the head. As you exhale, begin to walk your hands forward, keeping your shoulders back, your gaze upward, until you've come as far forward as you can. And let's hold for a few breaths. All I want you to begin to visualize that you are drawing in energy, light, goodness, happiness, any kind of pleasant thought or feeling. And as you exhale, imagine sending that energy or that feeling down through your hips, down into the ground. Feeling yourself settle and sink just a little bit deeper. Inhale, drawing in more energy or good feelings. Exhaling, sending them down through the hips, through the heels. One more time, deep breath in. Exhaling, sending everything down into the earth. And as you release that last bit of breath, seeing if you can take your chest just a little farther forward and down. Take a few deep breaths here. And then slowly begin to release those arms downward, release the spine, letting it naturally curve and begin to round forward as the shoulders and the head become heavier. And that curve starts to deepen ever so slightly. If you find that your prop is close enough to your chest, you can begin to relax down onto it. If you have a little extra space there, you can take your forearms or your elbows to your prop, letting it support you, seeing how little effort you can use to hold yourself here. Each breath is as deep and full as you can make it. Each exhalation allows you to relax just a little bit more. Breathing as deeply and as slowly as you can. Feeling as if the exhale is drawing you down towards the earth, stabilizing and supporting you. Knowing that you're in control here. You can adjust or come out at any time. And if you feel so inclined, you can even go just a little bit deeper. Let's try to deepen this just a little bit further. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhalation, begin to draw your toes towards your shins. Reach your heels out a little bit further. Breathing deeply, holding those toes drawing in. One more deep breath in. And on the exhalation, let everything sink back down into the earth once again. Let's repeat that one more time, seeing if we can relax and deepen the stretch just a little bit more. Deep breath in. Exhale, draw the toes in towards the shins. Reach those heels out far. Keep pulling, keep holding, and keep breathing deeply. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, release it all. Let everything sink down into the earth. Fully relaxing and surrendering down, knowing that the ground has you. You're not going anywhere. Slowly pressing the hands back down into the earth or into your prop. We're going to come back up. Stay here for just a moment with the legs wide and point and flex the toes. Maybe do a few circles, engaging the legs. Bending at the knees and bringing the feet back in. We're going to come up onto our feet, coming into a standing position. Step your feet about hip width apart. We're going to lower down into malasana, or a squat position. We're going to bend gently into the knees, take the hips back, almost as if we're sitting in a chair, but we're going to continue down. Once you've gone as far down as you can, let's extend upward again. Walk the toes out just a little bit, heels in. Let's do it again. Tailbone tucked under, pelvis lifted. Let's squat it down. Going down as low as you can. And then extending the legs, gently coming back up. Let's walk those toes and heels out just a little bit more. Toes are going to be pointing out, heels are going to be in. One more time, squatting down. Coming as low as you can. Hands can come down to the floor to support you if you need that. You can take your prop and slide it underneath your hips to sit back onto it if you need a little more support there. Or if you find that your heels are lifted, you can use a blanket or a pillow or even a block just behind the heels to support the heels. Finding your way into this pose, making it your own, making it fit your body rather than your body fitting it. If you find that your feet are flat and you feel nice and secure, you can even take your palms together at heart, your elbows on the inside of the knees. As you inhale, you can lift the crown of your head. As you exhale, see if you can relax your hips down, deepening the stretch just a little bit more. Elbows can deepen the stretch as well. We're going to breathe 3 minutes. If this becomes uncomfortable or intolerable to you, just come out and come down to a seated position. Remembering we never want to feel any pain. If your body feels like it wants more, let's try to deepen this. As you inhale, press palms together, lift through the crown of the head. As you exhale, see if you can sink your hips just a little bit deeper. Taking your focus back to your breath, imagining drawing in that energy or light, those positive feelings. As you exhale, sending them down the spine, down through the hips, pulling the hips ever downward. Drawing that light and energy, that goodness in on the inhale. On the exhale, sending it down through the hips and down through the feet, down into the earth. Feeling your body settle and ground, becoming even more stable. Just a few more breaths here. You can come out at any time. Placing the hands on the ground in front of you, gently rocking forward. We're going to take our knees down to the ground. Take your feet flat to the earth. And just sitting back towards the heels. If you find that you can't bend your knees this much, you can always use a blanket underneath the hips. Or if you have any sensitivity or pain in your knees, you can use a blanket underneath your knees as well to give you a little extra support there, as well as if you have difficulty taking the feet flat to the floor. Let's see if we can take our shoulders back, making a straight line down into the earth, shoulders over hips, over heels. Inhaling, lifting through the crown of your head, pressing down through your legs. Exhaling, releasing down. Inhaling, lifting through the crown of your heads, pressing down through your palms. Exhaling, sitting back and down. Holding here for just a few more breaths. We're going to tuck the toes under. You can come forward into a tabletop if you need to. Tuck one foot and then the other so that the ball of the foot is pushing down onto the earth. And come back up into your hero pose. Hips back over heels. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. See if you can create a straight line from shoulders down to hips, down to toes. Feeling the stretch through the foot. If it becomes too uncomfortable at any point in time, knowing that you can come out of this. Never wanting to feel any pain in any of these poses. Letting your breath remain deep and slow and full. Filling both the chest and the belly as much as you can. Imagining once again drawing that energy in on the inhalation. Sending it down through the hips, down through the feet on the exhalation. Just a few more breaths. Come out at any time if you need to. Inhaling, lifting through the crown of the head, taking the hands back to the floor, and pushing your hips back, bottom back to the ground, coming back into a seated position. Extend your legs out long, flexing the toes, and making gentle circles with the feet. one way and then the other. Releasing any tension that's built up, maybe even expanding through the toes, making them little rays of sunshine, and then creating little fists with the feet as well. Before taking our soles of our feet back together, adjusting through the hips so that the sits bones make a little more contact. If you find that your knees are really elevated, you can always sit on a blanket to help revolve them forward. Just take a deep breath in. Lift through the crown of the head, draw those shoulders back and down. As you exhale, reach your heart forward. Inhale, sit it back up. Exhale, reach that heart forward, shoulder blades reaching back. Inhale, sitting up. Exhaling, reaching forward. Inhaling, sitting back up again. You can bring your feet in a little closer if you want to go a little bit deeper. Once more, inhaling, sitting up tall, drawing those shoulders back and down. Exhaling, reaching your heart forward, reaching your nose forward. Adjusting your hands so that you have a little bit more support here. You can even feel free to grab one of your props that's nearby, seeing if there's a way to utilize it so that you can begin to relax through the torso. Let the shoulders begin to round forward and down towards the ground, letting the neck and head begin to relax. Breathing deeply. Letting each exhalation be an invitation to relax and surrender a little bit more. On the next inhale, reaching the crown of your head forward again. Adjusting your props as you need to exhale and take your chest a little bit lower towards the legs. Finding whichever position you need to be in to allow yourself the maximum support so that you can release and relax into this position. Imagining inhaling, drawing in that light or energy, those good feelings or vibrations. As you exhale, send them down through your spine, down through your hips into the earth. Drawing in that goodness, exhaling, sending it down through the hips and the knees as the knees reach down for the earth as well. On the next inhale, drawing it in once again. Exhaling, sending it down the spine, through the hips, the knees, and even through the feet, down into the ground. Feeling your whole lower body connect to the earth, even if it's not touching. Once again, allowing each exhalation be an invitation to relax that torso a little bit more, to surrender it down a little closer to the earth. Noticing and feeling each connection that's made with the ground, whether it's with the legs or the arms. Noticing that connection and feeling the stability that the ground is giving you. Slowly pressing down into the earth or into your prop, coming back up through seated. Remove any props you are using. Take your hands close to your hips. Free your legs, taking the feet back to the ground, nice and wide, and gently moving side to side in some windshield wiper movements. Allowing some mobility to come back to the hips and any tension being held in the legs to be released. Let's make our way back onto our knees. You can use your blankets if you need to. We're going to take our tops of the feet flat to the floor. Deep breath in, press palms into the earth. As you exhale, push your hips back towards your heels. You can walk your hands out a little bit farther. Inhale, lift the hips up once again. Exhale, begin to bend through the elbows, taking the chest a little closer to the earth. Inhaling, pressing palms into earth. Walk your hands a little farther away once again. Exhaling, taking your chest low to the ground. Hips stay high over knees, coming into our puppy pose. Seeing if you can begin to relax through the torso, through those arms a little farther away if you need to. Maybe taking forehead or cheek or chest to the ground if you have the ability to get it there to rest, or even using a prop, a block, a blanket, anything you have that can help you to make that contact with the earth. Letting your focus rest on your shoulders and your upper back. With each exhalation, see if you can relax just a little bit more, giving in to the stretch rather than fighting it. Almost as if you're a popsicle beginning to melt. Each exhalation an invitation to relax and surrender just a little bit more down towards the earth. On the next inhale, pressing into the palms, lifting the elbows and forearms up off the ground. Gaze stays down at the mat. Feel the stretch through the back body. Holding here for just. On the next exhale, pressing the palms into the earth, walking the hands back, sending your hips back over your heels. Coming into a child's pose. If your hips want more of a stretch, you can take the knees wide. If your shoulders and back want to relax a little bit more, you can walk the hands down towards the heels. Exploring with the arm positions here, seeing what works best for you. Seeing how to find the most support and release in this position. Even if it means using a block or a blanket, even crossing forearms to rest your head. Seeing how little energy you can expend while being in this position. As you inhale, press your arms down into the ground, round through the spine, lifting that spine a little bit higher. As you exhale, push those hips back a little closer to the heels. Inhaling again, lifting and rounding through the spine. Taking those arms back a little further if you need to, a little closer to the knees. Exhaling, pushing those hips back towards the heels. Relaxing back down. Adjusting your arms to a new position if you think that would feel best for your body. And if you feel inclined to imagine that light, that positive energy, inhaling, drawing it in, and exhaling, feeling it travel down into the earth through all of the points of your body that are making contact with the ground. Letting everything relax and melt ever downward. Using as little possible energy as you can to hold yourself in this position. Taking your hands back flat to the floor if they're not there already, and walking them in close to the body. Pressing in through the palm, coming back up through tabletop, and then lowering down onto your side so that you can come over onto your back. So we're going to be going into a bridge pose, which means our heels will be close to our bottoms and our hips will be lifted. If you feel like you want a supported bridge pose, feel free to grab one of your props now so that it'll be nice and close for you to use when you get there. We're going to walk our heels in a little closer to our bottoms. Parallel, our knees close together. Press into your palms and elbows, your heart, and draw your shoulder blades closer together. And settle back down. Feel the earth beneath you. Down into your palms and into your feet. Lift your hips up high. Exhale, lower the hips back down. We're going to do 2 more of these. Inhale, lift the hips up high. Feel that stretch start through the back. Feel the legs engaged, lifting you. Lower those hips back down. Going into our last one. If you want a prop underneath you to hold you, feel free to get that ready now. Inhale, press into the feet, press into the hands, lifting your hips as high as you can get them. If you want that prop, go ahead and slide it under you now. Lowering the hips down if you're using the prop, or keeping them lifted for just a few more breaths. As you inhale, feel the body expand through the chest and belly. As you exhale, feel that energy travel down through your feet into the earth. Inhale, feel the expansion. Exhale, feel everything traveling down through your shoulders and hands into the earth. Inhaling, expanding through the chest and belly, lifting through the hips slightly. Exhaling, feeling that energy travel down through the limbs, through every part of you that's making contact with the earth. If your hips are lifted, go ahead and relax them down now. If you're on your prop, see if you can relax everything just a little bit more. Holding here for just a few more breaths. As you inhale, once again, pressing down into the earth, lifting the hips. If you have a prop, go ahead and remove it, taking it out of the way. Holding here for just a few breaths, feeling that contact with the earth as you press down. Feeling that expansion through the belly and the ribs as you inhale. Exhaling, lowering everything back down. Taking just a moment to feel that contact with the ground once again. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, take knees to chest, coming into wind pose, gently rocking side to side. Coming into your favorite variation of happy baby. Either hands can be at knees, knees can be wide. You can reach down for shins, ankles, outside of feet, inside of feet, or even taking your peace fingers, letting them grip around the toes, gently rocking side to side, or taking those feet together, rocking up and down, relieving any tension that's built up in your back. Taking whatever movements you need. before bringing those knees back into the chest. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, hug those knees into your chest just a little bit tighter. Inhale, press the knees into the hands. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Inhale, knees to hands. On the next exhale, draw the knees to the chest, and then bring your knees over to the side, letting them fall to the ground. If you notice that your shoulder is elevated, try to square the shoulders up, pressing them down evenly into the ground, taking a prop underneath the knees as needed so that the knees can begin to relax downward. If you don't have a prop, just take your heels a little closer to your mat or a little closer to your bottom, deepening or lessening the stretch so that you can relax and let everything happen and deepen naturally. As you inhale, feel the belly and the ribs expand. As you exhale, feel your shoulders root down into the earth. Inhaling, feeling the whole belly, the whole rib expand outward, even through the sides. As you exhale, feel your knees press down into the earth just a little bit more. Taking your gaze over the shoulder away from the knees to deepen the stretch just a little. Taking your knees slowly into your chest as you roll back onto your back. I'm going to go over in the opposite direction. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, draw the knees into the chest a little bit more, rolling over to the side, letting your knees come down to the earth, noticing those shoulders down to the earth, even if that means that the knees have to lift. Taking any kind of prop that you need to breathing deeply. Feeling yourself expand relations. Feeling those shoulders root down on the exhalations. On the next inhalation, feeling yourself fully fill up with air, expanding forward and to the sides through the ribs and belly. On the exhale, reaching those knees down towards the earth just a little bit more. And letting everything relax, taking your gaze over that other shoulder away from the knees to deepen the stretch ever so slightly. Each exhalation an invitation to relax just a little bit more. And slowly drawing the knees into your chest, rolling back onto your back. Taking any final movements that you need before coming into your Shavasana, your final resting pose. You can do another happy baby. You can rock side to side. Stretch the arms overhead. Whatever feels best to you and your body. And then meet me in Shavasana. Heels reach out long, legs straight. They can be spread apart or together. Arms can be out to the side with palms up or down. Or they can come to rest on the belly or the chest. If any of these options don't work for you today, find one that does. Even if that means rolling onto your side or onto your belly. Finding a way for you to get as comfortable and relaxed as you possibly can. And then begin to scan your body, noticing any parts that are still holding on to any tension at all. Starting with the crown of your head, working down through the eyelids, the nose, the cheeks, the lips, the jaw, letting everything relax just a little bit more. Relaxing through the entire neck, down through the shoulders. Relaxing the entire arm, the hands and the fingers. Relaxing the upper back, the mid back, the low back. Relaxing the chest muscles, the belly, and the sides. Relaxing your hips, your thighs, your legs. Relax your ankles and your entire foot. Letting your mind be restful and not attaching to any thoughts or feelings, not making any plans. If you find that your mind is starting to wander and grip for thoughts, then imagine drawing in that white light, that energy, or that positive feeling. And as you exhale, feel it drawing you down, more relaxed, more supported into the earth. Once again, as you inhale, imagining drawing in that light, that energy. As you exhale, send it down to your toes and your fingertips as you gently wiggle and reawaken your extremities. Beginning to wiggle and circle through the wrists, through the ankles. Bending at the knees and the elbows. Turning the head gently side to side. Maybe even taking your knees to chest and rocking gently side to side. And then however you'd like to get there, making your way back up to a seated position. We'll take one final breath together, inhaling, sweeping the arms up overhead, palms reaching towards one another. Exhaling, bringing hands down to heart, imagining that energy continuing to travel down through the spine, down into the earth, feeling grounded and supported. Thank you, ladies, both for coming and supporting me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.